Bit of percentage wouldn't do Melbourne any harm either. Remember, they've got a game in hand. This is Adelaide's 10th game of the season and Melbourne's 9th game of the season. So they've still got that extra one to come. Free kick Melbourne out of the middle. Viney about to send them forward again. Can they get a 13th here? Add a couple more maybe. And build on that percentage. Heads wide. Wiedemann got hands on it. Fritsch crumbed it. Couldn't get away with it. Duday ran into a roadblock. Gave it to Keys. Caught by Fritsch. Turned in the tackle. Jones got to break his way through them. Finally got a handball out. Petrarca finally got a kick out, if you can call it that. Brayshaw through that congestion. Still the scramble. Sparrow had a chance. McHenry dumped. Neil Bullen wraps him up. And we'll get a ball up just inside their 50.
Like McHenry, got to give him more on-ball opportunity in the next few weeks.
So Jackson goes up. Tapped it down nicely. McHenry in hard of the ball. Had to be, because Jones was coming the other way. He only knows one way to attack it.
So we get a look at Jackson here up against O'Brien. O'Brien walks to him to try and take away Jackson's jump. But quite like what the boys done tonight.
He's done it well there. Got it down to Viney, who flicks it out. Brayshaw has the run at the ball. Needs a Shepherd. Gets one. Now we're going to have a snap at the goal. Did it nicely to the top of the square. Oh, good play there by Brown. Thumped it through.
Wow.
Put his body on the line and was cleaned up in the process. But they'll be playing that in the review during the week. That's the one you sit 5 days later and think, yeah, I'm glad I took that one.
That's all about standard setting, isn't it, Ed? That's about creating a culture, your non-negotiables.
Great stuff.
I don't mind getting a look at Max out of the teeth of goals either. Just for something different.
Made it well. Follow up. His spoil. Got it to Jones. Duday in the hole.
Just with that, Dwayne. You go. Well, hang on. You go.
Fritsch.
Back advantage.
Play on advantage here. So McKay, or the 1-2, he wasn't ready for it. Not sure why he gave it back. McHenry is coming off sore ribs, so he's fighting hard in the clinches. He's coming off a week off for sore ribs. Himmelberg showed a couple of moments in the game as well. But they just can't kick a big enough score, Adelaide. 7 goals, 8 goals, 5 goals, 4 goals. Just can't kick a big number. Haven't kicked more than 8 goals in a game since returning from the long break. Brayshaw calls in Sparrow. And with 3:46 left, Melbourne thinking of adding another one here. Brayshaw's on the move, straight down the spine. Waste no time to Jones. He's got the handball target. Petrarca. Which target does he want? Fritsch will do. Open goal. Strolled away from Duday. Beep, beep. And he was gone.
Beep, beep. I thought you went with a beep.
It all was set up for the Brayshaw kick. Yeah. He kicked an absolute spear through the middle of the ground. It was a beauty. It was hard, it was flat, it was low, and it basically didn't take up the time that the Crows defenders needed to get organised again. He sees Jones just out the back. Jones knows he can go quickly with a handball to Petrarca, who also kicks a very flat kick. Look at that, how quick it gets through the air. Duday has no chance.
This kick from Petrarca is just an absolute beauty. Look at this.
It's penetrating, isn't it?
He knows exactly what he's doing, and it is just like an arrow.
That type of goal, it's a pretty easy goal for to walk in, even at half-time when Adelaide still had a chance. Even at three-quarter time when they still had a chance. All of their handful of goals had all been hard fought. They have not had one goal where system has allowed them to get an easy look at goal. 12
points the difference at three-quarter time. It's now 50 points the difference. Jackson goes in for Melbourne, who's played well as the second ruck tonight, but it's the Crows who get it out through Paul Siegemans, who's been one of their best players tonight. He's played pretty well. Murphy trying to crunch his way through, but he is held up beautifully by Lockhart. Jay Lockhart, beautiful tackle.
He looked to try and ride into a high tackle there, but it was a brilliantly applied tackle in the end.
Jackson again, Oliver again, good play. Viney again, free kick.
Christian Petrarca's had 19 disposals. 8 of them have been involving scores. He's had a relatively quiet night, yet he's the most destructive man on the ground.
And they're starting to walk it out now, Melbourne. Tomlinson and Ed Langdon were on their own.
Just when you talk about Melbourne and their setup, their two backs have done incredibly well, and count Hibbert as a third, or Tomlinson, who's taken Himmelberg as a fourth. You've got the two kids up forward in Wiedemann and Jackson. They haven't needed another one because they've got the hybrid forward in Fritsch and Melksham. It leaves Tom McDonald on the outer for another week.
So Himmelberg with a big up and under, and guess who's got it again? All yours, Dwayne.
He's put on a clinic, and it's been a delight to watch it. Viney gives it back to Oliver. Once got lifted in the tackle, got a handball away. Could have been high on Lockhart, but the umpire said he ducked into it. So ball up. But he can smile. He can look at the scoreboard. Melbourne get the much needed victory to keep the Wolves from the door for at least another week. Jackson, in his first season, has been strong. And he gets it back here. Dances through the traffic and lace out to Melksham with a ribbon on it. He looks really good, Luke Jackson. Picked 3 in last year's draft. He's got some craft. Represented Australia at basketball as an under-17. So he's a great athlete.
He's a good martial artist as well, from memory.
That helps.
Boy from Oak Park comes in handy. Shout out to the Oak Park Boot Boys from the old days, Dan.
I like the way he was able to, as a ruckman, just ran forward of that stoppage, and he's the final kicker of the ball and did it very well.
And Melksham can't quite finish it off.
They've had 7 goal kickers tonight, Melbourne. 5 multiple goal kickers. Over the last 3 weeks, they've had 7, 3 and 4. So it's a big change for them.
And Glenn Bartlett, the president of Melbourne, I think he might just be filling up a tumbler now and just relaxing down, maybe even lighting a cigar. Good on you, Glenn. And Vicky's been a tough week for them, and they've got the results. Congratulations.
Not getting any ideas, are you, Ed?
Tough week. Some would say a tough 20 years.
Ball knocked down to Schoenberg, who's been good. It's got to be said. It's really provided in game 1.
His body's good too, isn't he? A first game player, he looks like his body's going to stand up to a fair bit of footy. He's not lean, he's not light. He's not Christian Petrarca yet, but he's
tough. He's a good unit. He's a sheep farmer's son, and he lays a tackle here. He's a min-man man, and he's tough. From Country SA. Ball comes out to the side to Jones. Seedsman. And getting there late, Fogarty, with an arm and a spoil.
For those playing Super Coach, 202 points for Clayton Oliver tonight.
Wow.
Fantastic night. He's been everything for them tonight. He's another one that's had a great year personally, but there's more damage tonight than what I'd seen over the previous 4 to 5 weeks. Do you think he can take his game to the next level?
Well, what you showed at halftime, I loved the fact that he's able to use his wheels to get away from danger. Yeah, when I say danger, the tackling danger. The games where Melbourne have been choked up and stymied by the opposition, they get the ball through that man in close at a stoppage, and they try and handball their way to the outside. Teams were just clamping them, but just one set of wheels with pace.
Jackson taking it out of the air, gave it to Oliver for just another touch. To Viney, seconds tick down. One last little roll of the dice here, maybe for Melbourne. Wiedemann lays the tackle on Brown. Umpire calls for a ball up, but the siren will sound on a huge victory for Melbourne. Desperately needed 4 points, a little bit of percentage. Keep the Wolves from the door for a week and get their season back on track, Melbourne. But North Melbourne this coming Sunday, next on their agenda. They've got a game in hand. Maybe it opens up for them if they can keep this form going against teams higher on the ladder than Adelaide. 13-10-88 to 5-7-37.